Good day. Hello. I am Red Hawk, and I'm coming to you from the deep end. I'm here with my cohorts. Marianne Ruddis coming to us from Spokane Valley in Washington State. I'm coming from Spokane, and Bob Hayes, well, he's all the way over there in Florida. So today, I want you to know that I hope your energy is up today, you know? Energy, I mean, come on, it's all the rage. Actually, when it comes to energy, it's not just all the rage, it's all there is. The universe is just one big bang of energy dissipating, spreading out, and taking on so many different forms, from atoms to planets to suns to dinosaurs to human beings. It's all energy. Probably originally heat, although now there's some quantum understandings of something out of nothingness that is pervading our models. But let's talk a little bit about energy, just because it's a delight. Someone asked William Blake if he wanted to go in Marriage of Heaven and Hell. You want to go to heaven or hell? And he said, "Oh, hell! I want to go to hell." Energy is infinite delight. So what is energy? You know, if you look it up in the dictionary, energy is defined as the ability to do work. The world we live in exists because we have learned how to change energy from one form to another and then use it to do work. The Industrial Revolution, of course, is a great example of that. Coal, wood, converting water into steam and using it. And the thing about it is nature's been doing this since the beginning of time. Our main source of energy here on Earth is the sun. And we can see how the energy of the sun is transformed into usable power. I still remember Edmund's Scientific Magazine. I don't know if any of our listeners remember that, but we would send away for all these scientific things, man. And one of them was when the photovoltaic cell came out. We got that and these little motors, and you could hold it in the sun and it would make the motor go. We'd put a propeller on it. It's like, holy moly, is this amazing or what? See, that's what nature's been doing all of the time. Our food, same thing. Did you know in the life cycle that photons are just plowing all over this planet, and there's energy in them, and yet a photon has no mass, which is an interesting thing in particle biographies, I guess you would say. But if you took a blade of grass, it is literally receiving 10 quadrillion photons a second. A single blade of grass. Now, a quadrillion is, there's 10 of those that are 10 quadrillion a second, and think of 15 zeros, and you'll get quadrillion. It's amazing. That light is being converted to grass. Now, a whole lot of us can't eat grass. It doesn't do us any good. A grasshopper can eat grass. Bovines, man. Bovines eat grass. They convert that sunlight that's been converted into grass into energy. They have these wild stomachs, man, that do strange chemistry. It's just amazing, the bovine conversion. And chemically, it's converted into energy that can do work. Now, things like lions and tigers and wolves and humans, we can't eat grass, but we can eat the cow. And we can convert that energy that came from the sun, went through the grass, through the cow, and now into us, into energy. Energy that started as light energy. It goes from the sun to the cow, to the grass, to the cow, to the human, tiger, and wolf. And we are part of this huge system of step-down transformers, converting the energy of the universe supplied by our sun, which is a star, into movement, thought, and work. And humans have learned to use this energy, and we do a lot with it. We either do one of two things with it. We store it, make it potential, or we use it to work. We use heat, light, motion, electrical, chemical, gravitational. These are all pieces that we can get energy from, and we're learning how to do that. Our bodies and our minds are literally energy converging, convergent systems. And we either store or we work. That's what we do. What did Carl Sagan say? We are star stuff. Every atom in our body was cooked in a star or a sun, and they came together as earth, and through this infinitely interchange that we're in right now, we rise out of this system, these interdependent processes of exchange. Some say every breath is a spiritual event, and it literally is. Think of what's happening. Think of the currency of CO2 and oxygen on the planet. And it's that currency is being exchanged with every breath in our bodies. And it keeps our organisms alive, and what we breathe out keeps plants alive. Energy. So today, I just want to celebrate this awareness of how we are so intricately woven into this universe. From our humble planet of energy, conversions gone wild, and that's what we're in the middle of. Energy conversions gone wild. Nature has done an amazing thing, and nature has allowed us in on it. We can see it. We can see our part of it. There is a joy in this knowledge, in my mind, and a meaning in this knowledge. And for me and my family, it gives cause for a prayer at every mealtime, where broccoli, burger, and beer, it's an energy feast, is set before us for the intent of conversion for more life, more energy, more meaning, more mystery. And believe me, my friends, from where I sit, it's just mystery upon mystery upon mystery. But we're able to, at some level, articulate the processes we're inside of, to understand them. From the way the sun hits the grass to the way the calories are converted into energy in our bodies. We know the chemistry. It's an amazing thing to be inside of this. So today is a day of celebration in my mind. And Marianne, we'll go with you first. I just laid out a lot, but mostly yeehaw for whatever the hell is going on here.
Well, I'm glad you put it like that, like whatever is going on, because I was kind of hoping you didn't go to me first, because I don't really know the science behind all of this. But I do know what it feels like to have a surge of energy. I do know what it feels like to absorb energy, and also to put it out. And I think that's kind of what, you were talking about. We can't eat grass, but we can eat plants. And so when we take in these energy sources and we either store them or use them, I think when we allow that energy to flow through us, and then we can put something back out into the world, right? Versus we bring in that energy and then we hold on to it and don't do anything with it. So are we contribute? Because I think everything is an exchange, no matter what we do. We're still exchanging this energy with life. And so I think for me, it comes down to, how do we direct it? What do we do with it? And how do we get ourselves into a position where we can best utilize it? Yeah. Because sometimes we just need it to, just to breathe, right? So how do we do it? How do we use this energy to create more energy, to intentionally do it? Because and that's even a bad way to put it, because I don't know that we're creating it, but we're passing it through. We're utilizing it, and maybe we can amplify it. Maybe we can add to it somehow. Anyway, that's where I go here.
Well, and before I turn it over to Bob, this brings us back to something you bring up often, Marianne, and that's the oneness of everything. It's more evidence of our connectivity. And the issue of all religions, of all spirituality, is how do we use this energy and convert it in a way that it speaks and moves for the good of all. And this gets into the concept of health and wholeness that we've addressed a number of times.
Right.
Bob, what say you here?
Well, it's really fascinating because the more we learn through science and through our own experience, everything really is energy, and everything is one if you define everything as energy. And there's so many different aspects that you can approach that idea. One is that just to have an idea is derived from energy. Thoughts are electrochemical energy working in our brains. Religious and philosophical people throughout history have sort of intuitively known this. They may not have used the same terms that we use today, but they talked about vibrations, and they talked about light being the source of all good, and all of these things that we acknowledge and that we know at a very, very deep level. We know that we're all energy. Whether we define it or whether we think about it all the time, it's there, and we've always known it, and we've always kind of dealt with it in one way or another. But there's a really fascinating aspect of energy, and I'll call it social energy. You take someone's ideas or someone's words, and you absorb them, and you convert those words or ideas into the energy which then animates you and motivates you to go out and act in ways that you may not have before. And that in itself is so fascinating because the propagation of energy through our social interactions is something that we're just now barely getting a handle on, barely even realizing it's happening. But it's that force of energy that we exchange with each other that's really directing where we're going as a species.
Yeah. And this brings together both, to me, what both of you have said in some ways. We've talked before about the mind being a step-down transformer, that we can't just plug into the main energy or we blow the circuits. So we have to use language and symbol and story and poetries and dance to step down this energy into forms that we can plug our hairdryer or TVs into and not blow them up. And I see that as happening a whole lot in the area of mind and how we do exchange those ideas and how those ideas move us in certain ways. As y'all were talking, I keep thinking back that there's so much more evidence today, even on the issue of energy, that we are one. That it's one superordinate happening and everything is inextricably connected. As we were talking, I'm always thinking institutionally, I guess, because, I was a pastor dude. But the Church of Cosmic Energy, how do we convert the energy in the way that creates true health and wholeness? And what are the ways we determine what is health and wholeness? See, that's the journey human beings are on right now. We're at the tip, the edge of that. And Bob, you're right on with this social fabric, because right now there's a number of things happening that could upset what little stability the planet has politically and militarily and all that stuff. So this energy conversion and how we share it is huge. And again, I think we need more opportunity to use it, not to be critical. And that's not to say that it shouldn't be used on the critical front, but we need more celebration. I think too much critical and not enough celebration, it is not healthy for the balance of the human mind. So today I really want to just celebrate this. The fact that, Bob, you have that awareness and we can talk about social issues as an energy exchange system. That's worth celebrating to me. The fact that we can see literally what we're inside of, and to me, I have to say it's holy, it's sacred, and I say that because the sacred to me is where things have gotten so meaningful and so integral to life and the processes of life that you can't do without it. And that's part of what the deep end is. Maybe part of my unspoken intent is to uncover the real holy in the midst of this mystery.
Well, mystery is the key word there, I think.
But
well,
orientation in the mystery is also important, I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it when you begin to define everything as sacred, it's just a reorientation of how you approach the world around us. And again, the idea that everything is energy, that everything is one, and that the great metaphor is the cosmic dance, that everything is dancing together to some sort of melody of the universe, if you will, and we happen to be part of a few acts of this larger dance play that's going on. And again, to celebrate it, the fact that we can be aware of that is a really good reason to celebrate, because if you sit out the dance, you're missing out on the melody of the universe. And again, if we can celebrate it all together, if we're, again, you can stretch this metaphor forever, but you can't have a dance if everybody's not in some way in sync with one another, whether it's rhythmically or melodically or intentionally. And it's that ability to work together and to enjoy the interparticipation of all of us in this dance that is the celebration.
I love that dance metaphor. And as you were talking, I was envisioning a mosh pit, because that's when people are not in sync, right? And it's just banging into each other. And
mosh pit is chaos theory in dance. It's really an amazing. Yeah. I'm going to try something here. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to try it anyway because I can't help myself.
I love that you can't help yourself.
I know. Well, I have a song called Cosmic Dance. Listen for a minute. Well, you got a taste of it. That's what's going on in my soul right there. So, Bob, thanks for bringing that up and bringing me back to that, because I've actually put that song in the middle of my next set. And dance with joy. I think as we wake up to it, even the suffering, that we can find a way to see how it's connected, and that there is a joyful peace. And that's why I wanted this to be a bit of a celebration of, holy crap, look what the human beings are now understanding about ourselves and the universe and other life and the way that we exchange stuff, and even our thoughts and stories, how those stories take this amazing emotion that feels like it could just blow me to pieces and step it down through readings from Rumi, readings from different scriptures, from Star Wars. All of these things help me understand aspects of this bigger energy that is trying to express itself through me, through each of us. And I think when we begin to see that as holy and to set it apart as that from the profane, which is that which undermines and destroys that. Remember the tree that Adam and Eve ate off of, good and bad, life and death. What makes you live is good. What makes you die is bad. We are still in the middle of a very important algorithm to determine what truly constitutes health, what truly constitutes wholeness. And I'm convinced that our understanding of energy and how it's being converted and the overall picture of that conversion system gives us a key insight into what I would see as holy. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and as you were talking, I kept thinking of everything's an energy exchange, right? And either we are giving people energy or we're absorbing energy, right? And there's also this, and I think what you were, at least where I went with what you were just saying, was what's important is how we use it. And the fact that we can direct it, we can use it, we can be intentional in how we affect the world. And it's because of this energy that's flowing into us. So we can use it to enhance and to uplift, or we can use it to destroy and cut down.
And what's cool is the Vedantist Hinduism has whole mythological understandings of those forces, how they work together, how the destroyer and the creator are both integral to a whole thing. And that is also a key to our understanding of health and wholeness. Bob?
Well, I was just going to say that collaboration is such an important part of this whole idea of this cosmic dance and of how we're converting energy and how we're working together to enhance each other's use of energy. And I think back to the documentary on the Beatles creating the Let It Be sessions and so forth, and how they would come in and one of them would have an idea, and then they would bounce it off each other, and they would tweak it, and they would help direct it, and at the end they ended up with something that none of them thought they were going to have at the beginning. It was bigger and better and more far-reaching than any of them could have imagined, and that can happen in just about everything that humans engage in if they honestly work together and not let their individual egos derail that synergistic accumulation of energy and direct it in its direction into useful and if you want to put it this way, holy aspects.
Yeah. And I think that that's part of what energy does. You know, we've talked about the three essential processes of differentiation, complexification, and semi-permeability. Energy wants to get together. Hydrogen and oxygen have a very lovely affair. And thank God that they do. And there's certain bonds, and this we gets into attraction and all that stuff, that shows us that there is a deeper intent, it seems to me, in the direction we're going. And I've talked about that, calling it justice and forgiveness and love and compassion and awe. These are all things that are very human, and they're very much part and parcel and important, if not vital, to the conversation that we're having with each other as we try to cooperate. And I think that's part of the issue right now is how do we cooperate and still allow the differences to do what they do, because we need the differences and we need the cooperation. It's a hard one. And based on being it a hard one, we're coming to the end of our time. So, Bob, final comments on energy and the celebration?
Well, I talk often on here at the Deep End about systems theory and how the same basic processes are replicated at all these different levels of systems. And it's certainly true of energy. If you take the simplest form, you've got a proton and an electron that makes hydrogen, positive and negative working together. You add pressure to that and you get fusion of hydrogen into helium. And suddenly you are developing a universe. But it's all based upon differences working together. And that metaphor is true at every level of system, whether it be an atom or a nation state.
Amen. Marianne, final comments?
Well, I love that. It's all about differences working together. And I always like to bring it back to how do we use this in our own daily lives? I mean, what does that look like? And it is that dance. And when we have differences with people, how do we create an exchange, a rhythm that we enhance each other and we work together for something better?
Amen. Amen. And how to consolidate that. And so here's the thing. I have to be honest and say there's a thing that intrigues me. I call it the pop mind. Western civilization in the West right now, there's this one mind called the pop mind, and we're changing ideas. And it seeps into these other cultures. In China, you can go to most bars and do English karaoke. Same in Japan, same in Vietnam. It seeps in this pop mind. And I'll be honest, other than the moonwalk, the second most watched television show was the Super Bowl featuring Taylor Swift. And to be honest, the whole event tickles my fancy. I like, it just tickles me. It gives a great insight into the pop mind, the way that it works. I call it there's the chihuahuas, those who no matter what happens, they're going to be nipping at the heels and going, nah, 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 nah. And then there's the lifters, those who are like, yes, yes. And it's just, the conversation is delightful, and the language people use and the way they express themselves. I don't know about you, but when I see a Taylor Swift kissing Kelsey with, what's his name in the background? Who the heck's that guy's name? I can't remember it. The political guy in the background, Bernie Sanders. I have to say, the pop mind is alive and well, and God bless us, everyone. Until next time, my friends, blessings, and be the energy that the universe wants you to be.